Well, thanks very much. First of all, I want to acknowledge many of the people that are here, and particularly mayor, councillors, City of Thompson, and I know the chair of the RHA, Roy Flett, is here, and I'm sure he will introduce both staff and board members with the RHA. What I want to talk about today is something I think that's quite unique about what you're going to hear today. I've seen many of announcements over the years. These things don't just happen. It's a phrase I often use. This didn't just happen. What's particularly unique about this announcement, though, as you'll see, is yes, it's what everybody's waiting for. The chemotherapy unit in Thompson is going to proceed. But what I wanted to do today, when we do this announcement, is really get the people that made this a reality to actually talk about it and talk about the efforts that went into this. Now, who made it a reality? It was the patients' advocacy group, patients, family members. And there have been quite a few people over the years that have been a key part of that. I want in particular to indicate how much we owe to everyone here, and Ron here as well, particularly Shelley Carey, who just passed away a few days ago, and who I'd say she was gutsy, always pushing, kind of classic Thompson style. Never would never take no for an answer, and I kind of have the sense that as I'm speaking now, she'd probably say, "All right, get on with it here," as in get on with building it. But I want to stress this is one of the things that's been absolutely key about this. This is a community announcement. I think the only comparable I've ever seen is the personal care home, the work that went into that, where we all came together as a community. And I want to now turn it over to Trevor Lowe, and I want Trevor and the patients and the families to really get the recognition for this, because it's their announcement. Trevor?
Thanks, Steve. Good morning, everyone. The Cancer Patient Support Advocacy Group, which consists of the following people: Larice Kablik, Sherry Ryan, Leona Mayer, and myself, Trevor Lowe, are proud to announce that the new Cancer Care Thompson Chemotherapy Unit has been approved and construction will commence in the very near future. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank several people at this time. First of all, thank you to the Cancer Patient Support Advocacy Group and all of their hard work that was put into this project. If not for you, this announcement would not be happening today. Also, Mr. Ron Carey, I only wish that Shelley was here today to get the recognition that she deserves for her determination that she put throughout this process. I would also like to thank Steve Ashton, who went above and beyond for the last 6 months to bring this project to fruition. I would also like to thank Dennis Fensky and the council for their support as well. I would also like to thank the Health Minister, Sharon Bladley, and the Finance Minister, Greg Dwyer, for the work that they put into this project in fast-tracking the project on such short notice. I also know that this project has had its share of frustration at times, and that it's been a long time in the making. But that was the past, and the future looks extremely bright. I cannot put into words the benefits that this new chemotherapy unit will provide to existing cancer patients and the cancer patients of the future, as well as the working environment for the existing cancer care workers. I would also like to thank the past and present nurses that have worked in the existing chemotherapy unit, as for one can say that I would not be here today if not for their outstanding care that I received over the past 3 years. I'd also like to thank everyone for coming today to receive this outstanding news. Thank you.
Thanks, Trevor. I'd like to ask Roy Flett, the chair of the, I've got to get used to it now, Permanent RHA. Lloyd.
Good morning, people and residents of the community of Thompson, City of Thompson. Thank you for coming. And I also would like to join with Minister Ashton and recognize those people in the community who were responsible for this announcement here today. Certainly the advocacy group and for your efforts and your work. Thank you for that. And also on behalf of the board, I certainly would like to extend our sympathies to your loss, our sincere sympathies for your loss and your families. And as Minister Ashton has said, there's certainly been a lot of work that has gone into announcements like this, and certainly the efforts from our staff. We have Twyla here, she's the executive assistant to our CEO, and also Leanne and Marion Ellis. So all the work that you folks, and certainly the staff, that you are very much aware of, the efforts and the time that it takes, the commitment that it takes to get today to finally be in a position here to announce, and the funding that at the end of the day makes this a reality. So all the work that we have all done and our efforts, again, this is the reality. And Minister Ashton, I also want to recognize you and your government for all the work that you have done throughout the years. I've served on the in the regional health authorities back in '97 when the regional health authorities were proceeded with. I was appointed then, and I've served on these boards up until today. So now we are the Northern Regional Health Authority after amalgamation. So, but there's a lot of history and a lot of work that I'm aware of that has gone on to it. And Minister Ashton, you mentioned the personal care home and the efforts that took part there with the community involvement as well. So with all of that, we are very pleased. And I'd like to thank you all. And I know with Thompson, the reasoning behind regionalization was to enable the residents in the communities in the north to be able to access care more closer to home in their communities. That's the whole purpose behind it. And in Thompson now, residents are going to be able to access chemotherapy in an expanded unit and in a more comfortable and timely access to this important service and healthcare that we need from time to time. And not only for Thompson, it's also for the whole region. I know that in Norway House, where I come from, in other parts of the region, there's people that are coming into the city of Thompson to access the care that we all need. So this is a great time and a great day for Thompson, and I'm glad to be able to share in it. So once again, thank yous all for that, and thank yous all to you people who have been played a part in it. I know that there was some activity that took part here earlier. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend due to my work commitments, but I'm glad that I was able to drive up here today to attend this. So thank yous all for coming, and thank you, Minister Ashton, for this and the families that were involved in the advocacy aspects of it. Thank yous all.
And I do want to indicate, too, that if there's any questions about the details, and as Marion Ellis is here, she can answer questions on behalf of the RHA. I think I put her on the spot there. But what I did want to finish, by the way, with is also something else that I want to put on the record here. I can't say enough just how much this was a community effort. And I think one way of recognizing that, first of all, is getting it built, which it's going to. But one thing I have raised already with the CEO of the Health Authority, Helga Bryan, is I think it'd be a really terrific idea if there was some recognition of the patients' advocacy group, particularly Shelley Carey's efforts. Because I think it will be a reminder for many years to come of a legacy that she and others have left. And remind everyone that when it comes to healthcare, it really is something that is a community effort. This is an absolute model of what it's all about. A lot of times I say I'm really proud to be from Thompson. I got to tell you, I'm really proud of the people I'm with here today because they got it done. It is now going to be a reality. Well, when it's open, it'll be a reality. But I think we should in the future have a permanent acknowledgement, recognition of her efforts and of the patient's efforts, so that maybe down the future, when there's another healthcare need, people will take some inspiration how you do it, which is you don't stop till it is a reality. When I said it didn't just happen, it happened because the people are here with me today and those that went before it. Thank you very much. So proud of Thompson. So proud we finally are going to get the chemotherapy unit that the patients and families deserve. Thanks a lot.
Steve, I wonder if I can say a few words.
Sure.
Good morning. I'm the representative for the Canadian Cancer Society, and they were hoping to see a number of people recognized here today, and certainly they were. And on top of their list, of course, was Shelley Carey. But the one group that we did omit was the Relay for Life. They wanted to recognize that they focused on the lack of chemotherapy, on the need of the chemotherapy unit being expanded, and they wanted to extend a thanks to the committee organizers and all the supporters at Relay for Life. And I'm so happy to see this, but I think our next issue has to be radiation in Thompson. So thank you very much. If you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Hello, my name is Marion Ellis, and I'm the Executive Director for Clinical Services for Thompson and area. And with me is Nadine Volansky. Nadine manages a few programs, one of which is the chemo program. And we did want to genuinely recognize our patients, those who have come before and those who are currently receiving treatments, and to thank them for the difficulties that they've sometimes had to endure. And to also acknowledge, which has been done before with Steve, Trevor, Lloyd, and Judy, the work of, sorry.
License plate number J24191. Could you please
Sorry.
move your vehicle immediately? Thank you.
Nobody here rich enough to drive a Cadillac. Okay, they're all staying. And Judy for just acknowledging the patient advocacy group. And cancer isn't a nice diagnosis to have, and neither is any illness for that matter. But it's very nice to see that in our democratic province, when people question democracy, it's lovely to see that the voice of the people prevailed. Also would like to acknowledge many people did work behind the scenes. The health plans that have been submitted for the last 10 years, our boards have endorsed. And when Shelley did organize that very effective protest, one of our board members, Jasper Robinson, was here to show support. So this has been a unified effort, and every cloud has a silver lining, and I think the silver lining in this is that patients took control and really made their voice heard, and that's very encouraging and empowering for all of us, especially when we get discouraged when we're fully healthy. And if somebody who's very, very unwell and is in a palliative stage of their life can make that effort and that sacrifice, then I think that's the message we should take from here today as well. So we wanted to say thank you to all of those people who have been working behind the scenes, especially our patients, and also to our staff in the chemo unit who have provided that support and kindness during times when the physical facility wasn't ideal. Thank you, everybody.
I think we're done.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll be back for the official ribbon cutting.